Welcome to an example in which we're solving a word problem. Here we have Country Days Scholarship Fund receives a gift of $95,000. The money is invested in stocks, bonds, and CDs. CDs pay 3%, bonds 5.7, stocks 11.8% interest. Country Day invests 40,000 more in bonds than in CDs. If the annual income from the investments is 7280, how much was invested in each vehicle? Oh, it says from the words, write three equations with three letters and solve. Okay, I'm going to call this S for stocks, B for bonds, C for CDs. You can call it XYZ if you want, but I think it's nice to have it meaningful. Okay, so here we go. So I'm going to write my three equations first off. So $95,000 and invest the whole thing. So that means the amount of money in stocks plus the amount of money they invested in bonds plus the amount of money they invested in CDs must equal the whole 95,000. That makes sense? They had 95,000 total dollars they received as a gift. They invested the whole thing in stocks, bonds, and CDs. So those three must add up. The amount invested in stocks and bonds and CDs must add up to be the whole amount, the whole 95,000 they invested. Let's see. Country Day invests 40,000 more in bonds than CDs. Oh, that's a tricky statement. 40,000, let's try that. 40,000 more in bonds than CDs. So bonds is more. So that means what they're saying is bonds is, let me rewrite it, 40,000 more than CDs. I just want to reword that. So that means bonds equals 40,000 plus CDs. That's that second equation, isn't it? You see that right there? That's what they're saying, right? 40,000 more in bonds than CDs. So bonds is 40,000 more than CDs. Bonds is 40,000 added to CDs. Now, we like to have the S, B, and C on the left side and the numbers on the right because I want to use a matrix. So I'm going to take that equation and I'm going to subtract C from both sides. So then that equation will become, oops, let's get over just a little bit. B minus C, these cancel, is 40,000. So B minus C is 40,000. So there's our second equation. See how I got that? I just took the words, 40,000 more in bonds than CDs. So bonds is 40,000 more than CDs. Bonds equals 40,000 plus C. But we want the letters on the left and the numbers on the right for a matrix in a minute. So subtract C from both sides, cancels out. B minus C is 40,000. Now the third equation is the interest, or I could have done it second. It doesn't really matter. It says the annual income is 7,280. So the income, 7,280. Doesn't matter what order you do these in. It says that, oh, they kind of did them bad. They're being tricky here. Careful. So I'm going to put stocks is 11.8. So I'm going to put that first. Got to make those decimals. 0.118 times S plus 5.7 for bonds. So 0.057 decimal has to go back two places, right? Plus, and then 3% for CDs. 0.03 C. And that's that interest that they earn all adds up to be the 7,280. There's our three equations in three letters. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to make that into a matrix because you could solve three equations with three letters by hand if you want, but it's hard. So it's going to be easier to make it into a big matrix equation. So let's do it. So this is going to become 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. And this is 0S because there's no S there at all. It's 1B minus 1C. And then 0.118, 0.057, and 0.03. There we go. Times stocks, bonds, and CDs equals three numbers on the right side. 95,000, 40,000, 7,000, 280. So there we go. Okay, so there's our matrix equation. I just took the numbers in front of the letters, put them all here, put the letters there, equal the right side. Now, how do you solve that? Well, remember, it's just like having 2 times x equals 7 or something. How do you solve that? You divide by 2 on both sides. And dividing by 2, that's the same thing as multiplying by a half, which is the what? The inverse. The inverse of 2, 2 inverted. That cancels that out. This gets you x alone, and this is your answer, right? Which would be 3.5 or whatever, right? Half of 7, 3.5. That's what you do. So to solve a simple equation where you just have a number times a letter equals a number, you multiply both sides by the inverse. Divide by 2 or multiply by the inverse. That cancels this out, x alone. Well, I'm going to do the same thing here. I'm going to multiply by the inverse, both sides. Here, let me move this equal sign over a little bit so there's room. Equals, and then inverse, right? And then this and this cancel, and you get the SBC alone. And the other side, you're going to have, bring this down, the inverse times, bring this down, the 95,000, 40,000, 7,280. And so there we go. You can find the stocks, bonds, and CDs by taking the inverse times that. So I'll do that now on the Desmos calculator. So here we go. I'll shift your view. Okay. And so now here's our homepage. How do you get to the matrix calculator? Right there on our homepage, click on matrix. You can do that during the exam also. It'll work on the exam. This one's the scientific calculator up here, and this one's the matrix calculator. They'll both work during the exam. Click on the matrix, and the Desmos matrix will open up. So I just need to take let's put in the original matrix. I'll click new matrix, and I got to make the row bigger and column bigger. It's a 3 by 3. What was that original matrix? It was 1, tab 1, tab 1, tab 0, tab 1, tab -1, tab 0.118, tab 0.057, tab 0.03. Enter. There's the first matrix. And the second one is that right side. Go on new matrix again, but then I got to make it. Yeah, there we go. There we go. Make it tall and thin. So 95,000 and then 40,000. And then 7,280. Enter. There we go. So we got the first matrix and second. So you take the first matrix A inverse, remember it's inverse, times the second matrix B. Boom, there's our 3 answers. That's the SBC. Stocks, 35,000, bonds, 50,000, CDs, 10. And if you look back, that was the original answer given. The answer was on the screen. Those are the 3 answers to the problem. That's all you got to do. Take the first matrix, put it in, the second matrix, B, and then take A inverse times B, and it solves it. And so there we go.